of it. What a plan. Yep, it's alive. It's breathing, kicking, and ticking.
We got a little, not much going on tonight.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. No, he told me he doesn't want to sit by me anymore.
Rat boy. Check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, now he's not here. So now you have your own spot.
So you can spread out now.
Exactly. You just had to tell him that you like to sit by him. And then there you go. He's like, I'm out.
That sounded rather interesting. It's called Mr. Steve something that I will read as my report tonight. It's really interesting. Could have some future. So I'm thinking that building tour.
I think that's the same group that came down here about 3-4 years ago. They wanted to do the same thing. They're do senior apartments and stuff in it, but they didn't have any skin in the game. They wanted us to give them the building.
We don't know what they want yet. It's worth looking into.
I don't know if it's the same bunch.
They can put their ID on the table. All we can say is no. Might want to
Correct.
say
Roy,
yes.
where did you hear that
Oh, she's got something she's going to
from?
read.
Oh, okay.
You guys, did you?
I got a call from Tim. Kane?
Same guy.
Yeah, well, Tim told these people.
Same guy.
Somebody that's interested in wanting to possibly buy the Lincoln building.
I called them. They said come here tonight.
Come hither.
God. My apologies.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to go ahead and call the public hearing to order on a vacate and replat of Herschel Wicked Edition. Yes.
So the HW edition is an subdivision of an existing plot of land by Herschel and Martha Wickett. They're taking their one lot here and subdividing it into 5 separate lots, all roughly consisting of about 9,600 square feet. It is currently zoned mobile home and will stay that way. And we do have a subdivision agreement with him that I just kind of went over with him, and I'm going to email it to him later. Yeah, that's the guy. And the subdivision agreement is essentially a boilerplate agreement, but it'll need to be signed and stuff before anything gets recorded. It can still get approved by the council tonight with the stipulation that nothing will be recorded until we have a signed subdivision agreement. So that subdivision agreement is, like I said, something boilerplate that clearly states what the town is responsible for and what the owner is responsible for in something like this. And there's a lot in there that doesn't apply to a subdivision like this because it's kind of all-encompassing and talks about if he was doing a whole neighborhood and there were city and sewer or town sewer and storm mains that the town would be taking over, and there is nothing like that in this. The purpose of it is mostly to identify the sewer and water services, and that is the responsibility of the owner. He was already aware of that, so he's going to review that and get back to us with it.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
You know, I did read that tonight. I had time before I got here, and it looked like a standard agreement. It looked pretty good to me, so just to let you know, it's a really decent agreement. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Any other comments?
Did we get to see a copy of the agreement?
Yes, I believe it.
I think it's in the end.
Is it in this?
You don't have a hard copy up there, but I do think that it was emailed to Jared here.
I didn't know that Jared said he could do that.
12 pages. I don't know if you guys are real quick readers, so he'll scroll real fast and you can see it.
Can he please email us a copy of it so we can sit down and read it before we go to the second and third reading?
There's only one reading on this
There's only one
for
reading
a subdivision agreement.
for a subdivision?
Yeah.
Even if it's an ordinance?
Because our
There's only one.
paperwork says 3, but I wasn't sure about that.
We can certainly do 3. In this case, it might make sense, but state statutes only requires 1.
And I did just forward all you guys the copy of what I just follow along there.
If you guys want to go over that agreement before we close this public hearing, please.
And we can run through it real quick here.
Yeah.
It's
We can go over it.
this is all basic stuff saying who and what it is and who is called the town throughout this and who is the owner.
Will you stop just a minute there? It says mutual covenants. What kind of covenants is there on this land?
That's as we go through it. This is the covenants. The agreement.
The agreement is the covenants.
Yes, it's a site plan agreement or a subdivision agreement. I'm sorry, with the town of Glen Rock. It's not like an HOA type of covenants that you might be thinking of. So it's surveying it basically puts everything that's in the town code, saying this is how you do survey monumentation on the perimeter and within the lot corners and points of tangencies and what the cap needs to look like and where they all go. Like I said, relatively basic stuff. The construction sequence is, again, that's something that would apply to a large subdivision where you are building streets and curb and gutter and things of that nature. Repair obligations would be if they ruined anything that the town has already taken ownership. And a warranty period, again, that's very basic stuff that is not necessarily applicable to this. The big one would, the thing that applies to them is further down under utilities. Yeah. Retaining walls and fences. Water and sewer is where it is. So it get constructed within full compliance of the town code, and basically that all services are going to be within town code, and town will approve them, and then he can move forward. And as there are no main sewer lines, there's no need to go to and through. This is mostly just in regard to services, specific services to each lot.
There is no main sewer line down there for a block and a half.
Mm.
So how do we solve that?
That
We
would
have to solve it?
Well, we can't tie into a sewer. There's no sewer line.
that would be that would fall under the owner has to run sewer to
The
get
main line to get down to his property, the town line down to his property is his responsibility too. How about the water line? Same thing?
There's a water main there. There just have to be 5 water taps taken over into each lot. Gas mains on the north side of the street, and I don't know. All the power down there is overhead.
Just so you know, Margaret, is the Fox Hill on the corner there is a manhole, and they only stubbed out years ago, and they only stubbed out 3 foot. cambered it. I thought it went farther than that, but it only goes 3 foot.
Oh, that's handy.
They just have to cut the cap.
Continue.
Yeah. At least it's stubbed out of the manhole.
Yeah, that helps. You don't have to change the manhole.
With this, like I said, we could do, if you guys would like to do 3 readings, we can rework the ordinance for all 3 readings, and then you guys can review this for
I
the,
would like to do 3 readings. I'd like to take a chance to sit down
that makes sense.
and read through this to get the full meeting. I'll probably have to read it twice to get through it.
You can read it 3 times with 3 readings.
Thank you. Just give me a copy.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
It's in your email.
It's in my email.
That's right here.
It's unplugged, yeah.
I'll go back and get it out of there. Okay, I'll just print it out and go read it. Get my cup of coffee.
Okay, is there any other comments if we come before this public hearing? If not, we'll call this public hearing closed and we'll open the town council meeting. Would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us? Is there any additions or deletions? If not,
Yeah, I would like to add an executive session, talk about personnel issues. I'll make that motion, I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to add an executive session, talk about personnel issues.
there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. We'll add it in before we adjourn. Is there an approval for the August 9th, 2021 council meeting?
I move we approve the August 9th, 2021 minutes.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Reports. Councilman Moulton.
I have none at this time, thank you.
Councilwoman Fawn.
I have nothing.
Councilman Kincaid.
I have nothing right now.
Councilwoman Nunn.
Sure, I've got 3 pages.
Okay.
All right, the first one concerns the August 23rd, the meeting of the landfill board last week. The landfill open pit closure project will advertise for bids December 15th, 2021, and award bids for construction January 13th, 2022, with construction starting January 31st, 2022. The bid will be awarded to one contractor who meets qualifications to handle this type of project and who will then be responsible for sub-bidding parts of the construction to hopefully some local contractors. There will need to be a lot of dirt moved, methane monitoring wells established, the actual cover installed, and fencing of the completed project, with the project work to be finished by May 13th, 2022. A problem with the landfill is experiencing with the town of Glen Rock is the disposal of green trash. People are not respecting the intended use of these dumpsters, which is creating a problem when the material arrives at the landfill. It would probably be most appropriate for Randy to contact Crystal, the landfill manager, to seek a solution to this issue before the town loses use of green trash dumping. They were rather upset about that. A person has not yet arrived to chip the wood pile. Not sure what the plan is for the shipped material. Anyone that has suggestions for the use of a small mountain of wood chips should contact Crystal or a landfill member. A parting thought on trash. Trash processing in Wyoming is expensive because we are not trashy enough. Our low quantity of trash makes it much more expensive to process our trash. So I guess we're going to kick up our trash here. All right, next one. It's Mr. Steve Grimshaw. I was contacted by Mr. Steve Grimshaw, a businessman investor from Casper, who indicated an interest in purchasing the Lincoln Building from the town for the purpose of restoring it. Mr. Grimshaw has a solid background in restoring old buildings. He restored the old Wyoming National Bank building in Casper. This building was built in 1921, had been vacant for 20 years. He gutted the building and recreated an interior. This process took approximately 18 months, and that building is quite a bit larger than our Lincoln Building. I asked him his thoughts on the Dinosaur Museum. His reply was that he encouraged existing users to stay after a restoration process and that he, quote, hates to lose anything that benefits the community currently. I would like the council's thought on this proposal and, if interested in investigating this possibility, would commit to having another council meeting with me and Mr. Grimshaw to take a complete tour of the building, which was his current request, to see what type of proposal he might be interested in offering the people of Glenrock. And a few short notes. This is the last one, Bruce. Sheep Herders event is coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The town park opens at 10 in the morning. If you have a chance Saturday to go watch the sheepdog trials, take a chair with you and enjoy a fascinating process. Alley check. Drove down the newly graded alley between Grove and Elk. That little grader does a nice job on those alleys, Randy. That was a pretty nice looking road. The town lost a valuable resource person this last week when Scott Gilbert accepted a job as administrator for the Glenrock Cemetery District. Best wishes for much happiness on his new job. A follow-up on last meeting. The total that the people of the Glenrock have paid in legal fees for the current investigation with the bills tonight now is $42,500.51. And as a closing note, I am sad that our community has arrived at Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. in Town Hall. That's it. Sure.
Green trash.
Sure. The green trash, Randy, Crystal says is coming in full of plastic bags, things that they cannot process, so it all has to be removed by hand at the dump before they can put it in their trash pile, or the DEQ people are going to scream fire. So maybe if you could get together with her and figure out some way to figure out how to handle this. I would hate to see us lose those dumpsters. I think they're fantastic myself. But I know that we have dumped in them. We have seen TVs thrown in them, all kinds of interesting stuff.
We usually dig that out, but if they don't see the bags,
But you know, they can't handle stuff like that, and they have to go through and get that stuff out, or we've got enough DEQ breathing down our neck right now anyway. So if you could look into that, it would be appreciated. Thank you.
Excuse me, Tammy Clerk.
The Enterprise did not meet in August. They never meet in August due to jackalope days. So I don't have a report for Enterprise. GEDC, the meeting was normally scheduled for last week, but it was rescheduled for next week. So I also don't have a report for GEDC. Well, it'll be scheduled. It's scheduled for tomorrow. So we're meeting tomorrow. Again, just to reiterate that the pre-termination hearing is set to take place Wednesday morning, beginning at 10 a.m. here at Town Hall. It's open to the public, and we will be live streaming it the same as we live stream our regular council meetings. So, as long as nothing comes up, we're set to have this hearing on Wednesday. And then lastly, I received the annual Wyoming Community Gas Project designation form. So if it looks like we're getting $6,017.38. So if everybody can kind of start brainstorming, it's not due until December, but the sooner we get it in, the better. So if we can come up with some ideas over the next couple of meetings, that would be great. That's all I have.
Okay. Kelly, treasurer. Randy, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Crew's been busy with street sweeping, garbage collection, parks, meter reading, starting to blade the alleys. We're also got one guy blading. He's making a list of where we have to haul rotomill in, so then we'll go back with two guys and one with the truck and the blade and then put rotomill in. Already had one call on it. The guy was complaining, but he understands what we're doing, so he's happy now. We received our new skid steer on Thursday that it budgeted. Town Square is going very well. They have Fifth Street all paved. The circle is all concrete and the curb line's all done. It's coming together pretty good. And 2 weeks they're supposed to be back to start putting the splash pad in. So they got all the underground piping in. They'll come in and start doing the splash pad. Just to let you know, tomorrow I will be in Casper through Friday for Rural Water Conference. I got 3 licenses and I need 24 hours per license and I have 0. So I got to attend some classes and get caught up. I will have my phone if you need me. So,
Randy, when is that parking down there in front of the museum going to open? Do you know? So they got each.
they wanted that to sit because they didn't get the compaction, and they're going to test compaction again tomorrow. And if it shows what it's supposed to have right now, it's at 96%. They want 97 and 98%, but they want it to cool off good before they allow any traffic. So
And if it meets that standard, that it can then be opened?
Yeah.
Oh, good news.
we'll probably close off the circle though. We don't want people driving in on the concrete.
Okay, Jared, IT.
Yeah, not much over the past 2 weeks for me. Just a lot of kind of break fix and working on a few things for the Flex system, finishing up some integrations over there at the county. So we should be on track to finish that up here shortly, and then the project phase of the Flex project should be over, and we can go into a use phase. So we should be good to go.
Okay, thank you. Fire department's not here, so we'll move on to any items from the floor.
My name is Palmer Ost. I'm a resident of Glenrock at 615 Grove Street. I understand that the hearing for Chief David Thiel will not include public comment. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct. There will be no public comment.
It's true.
I do ask that Councilperson John Moulton I ask that he recuse himself from the discussion or decision on any item during that hearing, because I understand that part of the complaint was the letter from the employees, and John Moulton's wife is the chief dispatcher, and certainly, even though there's no monetary conflict, there's certainly an emotional one. So I'm asking that John Moulton recuse himself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Palmer. Any other items from the floor? Moving on to new business, open container permit for Rusty's Knotty Pine. So I went too far. It's a permit asking for the Fall Fest Rec Center Park area on September 25th from, well, I guess noon to 8 p.m. Estimated number attending is per the chamber. I don't know what they're having. I don't know. There's no number on that for possible number of people attending the event. Hopefully it draws a good crowd.
They asked for this last year, right? Didn't we do this last
I don't
year?
remember it. I know they did Fall Fest, but I don't know if.
They did Fall Fest was down at Kipple Park.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But it's
It's
same.
Naughty Pine.
Yeah, I believe it was, yeah, they were.
So I don't see her here tonight. She was going to bring something in from Christie with a kind of a map, but they're going to set up where Christie tells them to set up.
This is the same event that we talked about last time, a part of that same event.
Yes, and Christie said they were trying to get another.
They just want to add one more facility or whatever you want to call it.
Hopefully they're doing the wristband thing so they
Right.
check everybody for approval to be able to buy alcohol.
Correctly, Christie said it was gonna be for the Beer Fest was gonna be one color and for like Naughty Pine was gonna be another color.
Okay.
If I remember her saying that.
She said that, yeah, because the craft brews are going to have
Yeah.
one.
Just one fee.
and then-
The money was paid for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay. So is there a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the Naughty Pines application for an open container.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next one is ordinance number 727. An ordinance approving the final plat of the HW addition comprising of 1.1 acres more or less, whereas an application has been made for final replat and subdivision approval of the HW addition, creating a 5-lot subdivision, i.e. the plat, and whereas the plat consists of previous platted land located within lots 5 and 7 of the Wicket addition land in the town of Glen Rock, Wyoming. And whereas the plat requires approval by ordinance following a public hearing, whereas after a public hearing, the town of Glen Rock Planning and Zoning staff recommends that the town council approve the request to plat the above referenced property, and whereas the governing body of the town of Glen Rock finds that the above described plat should be approved. Now, therefore, it be ordained by the governing body of the town of Glen Rock, Wyoming, Section 1, the final plat of the HW addition is hereby approved. Second, the ordinance shall be in full force and effective from and after the passage on third reading and publication pursuant to law. Passed on the first reading the 23rd day of August, 2021. Is there a motion?
I move we pass ordinance 727 on the first reading on 23rd day of August.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any more discussion?
Yeah, so we're going to do this 3 times or this one time?
We're going to do
or-
it 3.
3.
Any other discussion? No more discussion. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is bills and claims.
Mr. Mayor, before we get to bills and claim, is there someone that wants to go with me to meet Mr. Grimshaw and tour this building and see if he wants to put a proposal before us?
When?
Yeah, what is the idea of,
He requested.
When?
He requested that he be given a full tour of the building. I said I would see if I could find another council person, if we could find a date to accommodate to meet him there. You want to go, John?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'll
I know a lot about the building. If we can get a date set up, probably in the next few weeks, somewhere in there, we can
okay.
go talk to him.
I had told him I would call him back and let him know what was going on, and we'll see if we can get a date set up and get going on that. See what he has to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our bills and claims, is there a motion?
Go ahead.
I move we pay our bills.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business would be a motion to adjourn to executive session for, what did you want that as?
Personnel.
Personnel matter?
Mr. Mayor, could I also include in that executive session, we discussed some litigation?
I'm sure we can, yes.
So make a motion we adjourn to executive session to discuss litigation and personnel issues.
Okay, there's been a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Everybody sign the paperwork for Kelly before we adjourn to executive session.
Sure.